28, 2021. And it is at now 19:20 hours or 7:20 p.m. I call the meeting to order. Danelle, would you read the statement, please?
I do not
have it with you. I'll read it.
I'm sorry, I don't have it. I don't have it in front of me.
Statement. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided to the public and the press on January 6, 2021 and on April 8, 2021, and was posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-7. Roll call, please.
Council President Harry Shortway. Councilperson Pitsker.
Present.
Councilperson Weller. Councilperson Chili.
Here.
Councilperson Auberger.
Here.
Okay, all are present. So I would like to invite everybody to stand and let's pledge allegiance, salute our flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America,
and to the
and to the
republic
republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mayor, would you read the proclamation number 5 on our agenda?
Yes. This
Thank
is a proclamation designating July as Park and Recreation Month. Whereas parks and recreation programs are an integral part of communities throughout this country, including Vernon Township. Whereas our parks and recreations are vitally important to establishing and maintaining the quality of life in our communities, to ensuring the health of all citizens, to contributing to the economic and environmental well-being of our community and our region. And whereas parks and recreation programs build healthy, active communities that aid in the prevention of chronic disease, that provide therapeutic recreation services for those who are mentally or physically disabled, and also improve the mental health and emotional health of all citizens. And whereas park and recreation programs increase a community's economic prosperity through increased property values, expansion of the local tax base, increased tourism, the attraction and retention of businesses, and crime reduction. And whereas park and recreation areas are fundamental to the environmental well-being of our community, and whereas parks and natural recreation areas improve water quality, protect groundwater, prevent flooding, improve quality of air, improve the quality of air that we breathe, provide vegetative buffers to development, and produce habitat for wildlife. And whereas our parks and natural recreation areas ensure the ecological beauty of our community and provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature, to recreate outdoors. And whereas the U.S. House of Representatives has designated July as Parks and Recreation Month, and whereas Vernon Township recognizes the benefits derived from parks and recreation resources, now therefore be it resolved by the Vernon Township Council that July is recognized as Park and Recreation Month in Vernon Township, and this will be signed by me and Council President Shortway.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Appreciate it. We'll go to 6 on your agenda, public comments for current agenda items only. Time is limited to 3 minutes per person. Those wishing to speak, please state your name and also the town or municipality that you reside in. May I have a motion to open the floor to the public?
Motion to open floor to public?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Anyone opposed? Seeing no one, anybody abstaining? Seeing no one, the floor is open. Danelle?
Yes, we have Natalie Bussieri, and I'm leaving. Marcy is actually on the attendee side, and I can't make her a panelist or a host. It's not letting me. So I'm just going to leave her able to speak if she needs to. I just wanted to let you know.
All right, thanks.
And Natalie Bussieri, you're up first. If you could unmute yourself.
Yeah, I think I just did. Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Great, thank you. Okay, thank you. So I I didn't have a ton of time, but I started to look over the ordinance that you posted regarding the cannabis zoning and retailer. So I see that you are proposing prohibiting a retailer within any zone of Vernon Township, but allowing 3 each of cultivator, delivery, manufacturer, wholesaler, and distributor. So I do have some questions about that. I know that there is, in theory, a tax benefit to having a retailer. I don't agree with it, but that's the theory of 2% tax on sales. What type of financial benefit do these types of businesses have for Vernon, other than providing jobs? Obviously, if the business opens, they pay a commercial tax rate and they potentially provide jobs for residents. But is there any other sales tax or any other tax benefit to our community with those types of industries and manufacturers, wholesalers, distributors? My other question is what type of input, if any, have you gotten from our police department regarding the chief's thoughts or views on having this type of business in our town? I know when I read about Sharing Plow's site and the fact that they're going to use that as a grow site, they talked about pretty sophisticated security measures that need to be in place for that grow facility, because obviously it would be tempting and could be potentially robbed and people could steal the plants. So I'm assuming for any type of grow facility distributor, they're going to have a certain level of security. So I just wonder how that would affect our police department and what the thoughts, if this council or this mayor has gotten any input from our police department. And you might have, but I just wanted to know if you could address that. Those are my questions regarding that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, next, we have, is it Andre?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I can speak now. I'm sorry, the audio was so bad in the beginning for me. All right, so we're on the cannabis one, right?
Any agenda item you could speak about at this time.
All right, so I just want to, I just was gonna read from loosely from an article that I'm familiar with about the cannabis, and this is the myth. In 1941, Henry Ford prototyped the first car made from and fueled by hemp. 70% of the car's body was made of industrial hemp. Marijuana was actually forbidden in order to suppress the inexpensive hemp fuel and fiber production so that petrol profits would remain and reign supreme. All for a small group of people who wanted control and money. They knew using hemp would withdraw our economic system from the petrol matrix and enabled the majority of the population to return to wealth and power. Hence, films and memes like Reefer Madness came into play. Marijuana Bad was born. Marijuana and hemp both derive from the same plant, Cannabis sativa. By effectively claiming marijuana to be a dangerous drug, they effectively prohibited hemp. In Reefer Madness was the fear campaign that resonates in the psyche today, but it was a myth, a lie. And that's true. So we have to unwire the matrix. Newburgh, New York has less drug crime with their dispensaries. Curry Leaf, I believe, is one. And the medicinal benefits are numerous. Now, I'm sure I don't have any more time, but I just wanted to put that out, that a lot of the bad about it is myth. And it became myth for a reason, to suppress the, the growing of it for the auto industry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Hugh Giordano. Hugh, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Hear you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, my name is Hugh Giordano, 57 Argyle Avenue, Blackwood, New Jersey. I'm coming today as a representative of the United Food and Commercial Workers Union, UFCW, where we are a national labor union of 1.3 million hardworking families and we are the official cannabis labor union that represents cannabis workers from seed to sale, both adult use and medical. I want to first say that I'm very happy that you're allowing the industry in. I know that retail is not on the map today, but I would hope that you at least allow a medical facility so you can create good retail jobs in the medical world and then give patient access as well. But I do appreciate the rest of the industry. These are educated workers, seed to sale, chemistry, botany, horticulture. So one of the things I would like to suggest is labor standards. The city of Bayonne passed a great ordinance that lays out fees, renewal fees, and like you did, what laid out what they're going to allow and how many they're going to allow. But they also passed the merit-based application system, which is key. So the merit-based application system can protect the citizens and workers. So for example, environmental standards, if they polluted in Colorado, they're going to pollute here in New Jersey. Labor standards, if they fought workers in Illinois, they're going to fight workers here in New Jersey. So the city of Bayonne looked at those equity standards and made that merit-based application system. So I would like to suggest that you look at that. And also, if you could, if you want to visit the Garden State Dispensary, we represent that. It's one of the original 6. I'd be more than willing to give you, the entire administration and the chief of police a tour of the Garden State Dispensary. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Giordano.
Okay, next we have Rick Thompson. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
There we go.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can, Mr. Thompson. Thank you.
Okay. I'm Rick Thompson. I live at 42 Black Oak Drive in Vernon, New Jersey. 2 agenda items I wanted to touch base on. Number 1, the liquor licenses. There's a deferral on there for what I believe used to be the Vernon Inn's license. And it's also my understanding Heaven Hill has another idle license. I'd like to bring to the council's attention that Vernon lacks both culinary and recreational weekend nightlife. Part of that is because these liquor licenses are tied up. I urge the council to become a use it or lose it program through ordinances per what's allowed under New Jersey state law. And I also suggest with Mountain Creek having multiple licenses that the town create an ordinance of what I call 304. If you're going to have a liquor license, you must be open 300 days a year and at least 4 hours per day for the day to qualify. That way we don't have liquor licenses being wasted with businesses that are only open 4 months of the year. The second item I want to discuss with the council and bring to their attention is that 70% of this town voted in favor of having cannabis recreationally legal. Now a vocal minority of residents are trying to impose their personal agenda on the majority and democracy of this town. And if council members are going to stand in the way, then they need to be held accountable next election by those 70% of residents for imposing their personal agenda on a town that voted 70% in favor of something that can be used to create 2% of taxes of the sales to help alleviate our property tax and to be used for things such as our schools and our community, something that we want to spend money expanding things like pump tracks in our downtown, which would benefit from the liquor license change because we could actually have businesses here that are good restaurants if we had those available instead of being tied up, but also as well as having that revenue available to do things like help downtown and alleviate property tax and help our schools. So by doing, if this is banned, people are going to take advantage of the neighboring towns being able to legally deliver it here, legally sell it and bring it here and use it. The only thing we're missing out on is the revenue from it. And this town needs both the revenue and we need the money to not be passed to us through our property tax. So I am very vocally opposed to the town adding any legislative restrictions on recreational cannabis sales, as well as the industrial uses that are currently allowed in the bill on the table tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
Okay, next we have Jeff King.
Good evening, Vernon. I appreciate very much the chance to speak. My name is Jeffrey King. I'm at 24 Elizabeth Parkway in Eatontown. Want to commend you for your open-minded and progressive approach to the zoning. I think it's really smart to incorporate these businesses and these licenses that will bring in good jobs and restore maybe a blighted warehouse or building that hasn't been used to its potential. Definitely going to be good for the tax base, whether it's people who are making money on their salaries that live in town and the real estate people. So that's smart. Not sure really why you chose to forego the dispensary, but I guess it's not a case of reefer madness. You have your heart's in the right place of trying to find some benefit for all of the community and all the citizens, and I think that's good. And I think that's a good example for other communities. Even if you don't think that a dispensary is right for you, keep your mind open and look at all of your zones, your entire master plan, and you'll find something if you look and you have an open mind and you know what it's going on and what it looks like, maybe in Massachusetts, Illinois, California, wherever you may have family and friends, you can see what's the potential. You can. I appreciate that. And just want you to please speak up to the other recalcitrant leaders in New Jersey and beyond to teach them that we can do more and we can do better. And there is a lot of potential for producing an alternative to opiates and alcohol, for producing a medicine. Forget about the jobs. It's a healthy product. It's really a benefit and an asset to have in your community. So I hope that you will see that with a nice organic, locally owned dispensary in the future too. But for now, I appreciate what you're trying to do, and just wanted to give you some support and ask you then for your support. And the people voted resoundingly. So back us up on home growing rights. That's really fitting and proper. And I don't know why the governor lost his nerve on that. He was a very progressive candidate last time around, and now we're kind of flailing. Patients still don't have home delivery. We went through the whole pandemic with no home delivery. It's insane. That should have happened. The Jake's bill was signed 2 years ago. So please speak up for the patients and the folks that are kind of marginalized. But thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. King. Marcy, welcome. You'll take over for Danelle, and
Yes,
can you do that, Marcy?
yes, and forgive me, I am so sorry.
Hey, it happens. Just go forward. And Danelle, thank you so much.
Thank you, Donnell.
No worries.
Helping us out, especially when we
No worries.
have 60 participants at this meeting, which might be one of the largest we've had since we went to redo the Maple Grange Fields 2 years ago. So Marcy, it's all yours.
And
We're
a
still-
lot from not our town, which is odd, right?
I have, I'm
Odd.
sorry, I have Marina.
Yes,
Marina,
yes, hi, can you hear me?